Hello, everyone. Welcome to the episode that deals with the rules of grammar. In this episode, we will talk about one of the very important rules of grammar, the tense part 2. In the last episode, we talked about the present tense, its various forms and uses. This episode will deal with the simple past, past continuous, and past perfect tense, their forms and uses. Considering the importance of the tenses in English grammar, an attempt has been made to discuss them intensively. I am Sakshi Mandwal and a subject expert today is Sabah Tariq, lecturer for English at Jamia Hamdard University. In today's session, we will be going to cover the various forms and uses of simple past, past continuous, and past perfect tense, their forms and uses, the grammatical structure of simple past, past continuous tense, the direct relationship between grammatical structure and the real life uses of these tenses. It has already been discussed in the last episode that tense denotes the time of the happening of an action. Actions can take place now, before, or later. On the basis of this, tenses are broadly of the following three kinds. Number 1, present tense, 2, past tense, 3, future tense. In the last episode, we have conversed that present tense is used for indicating actions that happen or are happening at the time of speaking, though not in strict terms. We have also talked about the various forms and uses of the present tense. Now, let us proceed towards the past tense. The past tense. The past tense expresses an action or an event that has already taken place or a state of being that existed before the time of speaking. It is used for indicating actions that happened or were happening before the time of speaking, though not in strict terms. For example, we reached home pretty late last night. I wrote a letter to a friend. Jessica celebrated her birthday with her family. Shreya danced well. We lit lamps on Diwali. The teacher distributed the storybooks. Mona was writing a letter to her brother. The girl was sleeping on the sofa. Soma was solving a jigsaw puzzle last evening. He was talking to his friend. The flight had landed when the announcement was made. Sagarika had left the house when I reached her place. The compere had announced the arrival of the chief guest before the confusion started. The old man had put in an application for a new telephone connection before he went on a holiday. The girl had been flying kites since childhood. The mountaineer had been trying to climb the mountain since last year. All the above sentences are examples of the past tense. The past tense is categorized into four kinds. 1. Simple past tense or past indefinite tense. 2. Past continuous or past progressive tense. 3. Past perfect tense. 4. Past perfect continuous or past perfect progressive tense. Simple past or past indefinite tense. We use the simple past tense to indicate an action completed in the past. For example, I went to London. He completed his work in time. Here the verbs went and completed tell us that the actions of going to London and completing the work took place at some time in the past. Look at these sentences also. An accident took place in front of my house yesterday. A car knocked down a boy riding a bicycle. Luckily, the boy escaped with minor injuries. All the verbs in this paragraph are said to be in the simple past tense or past indefinite tense. Each of the verbs describes an event that took place and was completed in the past with reference to the time of speaking.
When we want to indicate that something happened at a specific time in the past, we use the past simple. We can either say when it happened or assume that the listener already knows when it happened or understand this from the context. For example, she spoke very well in the class. She arrived at the Indira Gandhi International Airport at 2 o'clock this morning. The Vice Chancellor left just a few minutes ago. Shaheen decided to continue the course even though it was proving difficult. We use past simple for situations that existed for a period of time in the past but not now. For example, when I was younger, I played hockey for my school team. The British ruled India for a long time. We use the past simple to talk about when a present situation began. For example, I started to get the pains 2 weeks back. I have had the pains for 3 weeks now.
Uses of simple past tense or past indefinite tense. A. The simple past tense expresses a habitual or regular action in the past. The verb is often accompanied by an adverbial like every day. For example, every day he read a few chapters of the Gita. His mother gave him some pocket money every day. She often went to the supermarket to buy some vegetables. When we want to suggest some past habit, we often use adverbials, words like usually, generally, always, sometimes, frequently, never, often, with a simple past tense. Sometimes it is used to refer to a past thought. For example, Kavya thought that the elephants play with water in the sky when it rained. As a child, I thought that the world is very small. B. This tense expresses an action which occupied a period of time in the past which is now ended. For example, he lived in Delhi for 15 years. He does not live there now. He served in this college for 20 years. He is no longer working here. Shakil studied mathematics for the last 15 years. C. Simple past tense is used to narrate a story. For example, once upon a time there was a girl called Cinderella. Once there lived a ferocious lion in a jungle. Once there lived a very brave man whose name was Ulysses. D. It is used to refer to historical events. Look at the given sentences. Most of South Asia was under foreign rule in the 19th century. In 1861, Johann Philipp Reis spoke into his telephone the following words: "The horse does not eat cucumber salad." In 1872, a man called Graham Bell built an electromagnetic telephone in Boston. He discovered a device that could transmit speech over a long distance. On 10th March 1876, Bell presented his box telephone to the public on a test line of around 8 kilometers. E. It used to express actions that took place sometimes in the past and are over now. These actions might have occurred at some moment or might have taken a period of time, but they do not have any connections with the present time. For example, I posted 3 letters yesterday. Some moment. We stayed at Kathmandu for 2 weeks. Period of time. My father left for Delhi yesterday. I bought this watch in Mumbai. A strong wind blew last night and knocked down a number of trees in our garden. The old man walked slowly. They put up fence around their garden. The police caught the thief at the railway station. In these sentences, the simple past tense is used to express events that are occurred at a particular point in the past. When used in this way, there is usually a word or phrase, or in the case of transitive verbs, an object. However, in a narrative sequence, an adverbial of time may not be necessary. For example, the car knocked down a cyclist. Luckily, he escaped with minor injuries. He came home tired and shaken. He told his mother about the accident. She made some tea for him. He drank the tea and felt refreshed. He then went and lay down in the bed. The adverbial similarly is not needed when a sentence in simple past is spoken in answer to a question. Who broke the glass? Anil did. How did he go to the school? He walked. F. In subordinate clauses, this tense is used to refer to something desirable or unreal state of thing. Look at the given sentences. It is high time someone told him truth. I wish I knew his address. Something desirable. If I were you, I would never speak to him again. An unreal state of thing. G. Had can be used as main verb in the simple past tense. Look at the given sentences. I had a raincoat with me, but the raincoat did not have a cap. They had a well-established business. We had a lot of fun in the picnic last Saturday. Some other uses of this tense. Used to. Used to form is used to show past habit. Look at the following example. He used to live here. Positive sentence. He never used to live here. Negative sentence. He used not to live here. Negative sentence. Did he used to live here? Interrogative sentence. Did he not used to live here? Interrogative, negative sentence. Used to suggests that something was true or happened for some period in the past but has stopped being true or happening at the time of speaking. Look at the given sentence. Mr. Rai used to smoke. He does not smoke now. This sentence means that Mr. Rai was in habit of smoking for some time in the past, but at the present time he has stopped smoking. Note, used to is always in this form. It can never be used to when used in an affirmative sentence. Formation of simple past tense. Positive form. In this tense, past form of the verb is used with all subjects, singular or plural. He helped a friend in trouble. They helped a friend in trouble. Interrogative form. In interrogative sentences, did is placed before all subjects, singular or plural, and the base form of the verb is used. For example, did he help a friend in trouble? Did they help a friend in trouble? Negative form. In negative sentences, did not is placed before the base form of the verb. For example, he did not help him. They did not help him. He did not thank him. They did not thank him. Negative interrogative. We make negative interrogative of this tense by shifting did in the negative sentence to the beginning of the sentence. Did he not help a friend in trouble? Did they not help a friend in trouble? Did he not thank him? Did they not thank him?
To talk about a temporary situation that existed at or around a particular time in the past, we use the past continuous. My head was aching again, so I went home. When we talk about two past actions or events that went on over the same period of time, we use past continuous for both. For example, Radha was reading to the children while Ramesh was washing up.
Past continuous or past progressive tense. The past continuous or past progressive tense is used to indicate an action that started in the past and was going on for some time in the past. In other words, the past continuous tense indicates an ongoing action in the past. Look at the following sentences. Once a hunter was walking through a forest. I was ironing my shirt when the electricity failed. The boys were playing in the garden when it started to rain. In each of these sentences, the verb is in the past progressive or past continuous tense. The form of the verb is was, were, plus verb plus ing. Another point to remember here is, while the present continuous tense expresses an action in progress in present, the past continuous tense expresses an action in progress in the past. Uses of past continuous or past progressive tense. A. The past progressive tense expresses an action that was in progress at a point of time in the past, having begun that point and probably continuing after it. For example, at 7 a.m. this morning, I was reading the newspaper. At 8:30, I was having my breakfast. At 9 a.m., I was getting ready for my office and the children were getting ready for school. B. The past progressive tense expresses an action continuing over a period of time in the past. For example, the boys were listening to the cricket commentary the whole of yesterday. He was watching TV throughout the afternoon. The train was running late regularly during the last 1 week. We were listening to the music all evening. Time phrase given. It was getting darker. Time phrase not given. C. The past progressive tense expresses an action continuing at some point in the past when another event took place. For example, when the phone rang, he was watching television. Or, the phone rang while he was watching television. The lights went out while I was reading. When I saw him, he was playing chess. Or, he was playing chess when I saw him. I was cooking when you arrived. In all these sentences, the simple past tense and past continuous tense are used together to suggest that something happened when another action was in progress. Happening. Note, while or when can be used to join sentences. The train was passing on the bridge when the bridge gave way. I was reading the newspaper when the telegraph peon knocked at the door. D. The past progressive tense describes two or more actions going on at the same time in the past. Often the conjunction while is used to connect the clauses. For example, while some boys were reading in the library, others were playing in the playground. While Rome was burning, Nero was fiddling. She was humming a tune as she was cooking dinner. Meenu was looking after the cats at home while Shobha was taking care of the dog in the garden. In these sentences, the present continuous tense is used to describe simultaneous actions. E. This tense is also used with always, continuously, continually, constantly, etc. For example, she was always scolding her children. He was continually asking for money. The children were constantly asking for sweets. The sage was forever praying for the welfare of humanity. He was always grumbling. She was always ringing me up. In this type of sentences, the adverbials always come after the helping verbs, was or were. F. This tense is used to suggest a gradual development in any action. Time expressions are not used in such cases. Look at the given sentences. He was becoming more and more depressed. She was getting more and more skinny. They were trying to make her happy. G. The simple past tense indicates a deliberate and planned action, whereas the past continuous tense indicates a more casual and less deliberate action. For example, I talked to the Deputy Commissioner yesterday. Deliberate. I was talking to the Deputy Commissioner yesterday. Casual. The second sentence suggests that the speaker had not intentionally planned to talk to the Deputy Commissioner. H. In many cases, the past continuous tense sounds more polite than the simple past tense. Look at the given sentences. What were you doing before you joined this university? More polite. What did you do before you joined this university? Less polite. The first sentence sounds more polite than the second sentence. Perception verbs are usually not used in the present continuous tense except in the following cases. 1. Was hoping. I was hoping to meet you today. 2. Was wondering. She was wondering whether you'll also come to Hema's house. 3. Was thinking. He was thinking of writing to you. In these sentences also, the ing forms of perception verbs are used to enhance politeness. Formation of past continuous tense. Positive form. In this tense, the subject is followed by was or were to be further followed by the ing form of the verb. For example, she was playing carom. They were basking in the sun. Interrogative form. In interrogative sentences, was or were is placed before the subject. For example, was she playing carom? Were they basking in the sun? Negative form. In negative sentences, was or were is placed before the subject. For example, she was not playing carom. They were not basking in the sun. Negative interrogative form. We make negative interrogative of this tense by shifting was or were in the negative sentence to the beginning of the sentence. Was she not playing carom? Were they not basking in the sun? Past perfect tense. We use the past perfect tense to arrange past actions according to their sequence of occurrence. With the help of this tense, we can distinguish between actions that have taken place in the past and the time before past. Look at these sentences. On reaching the school, I found that I had forgotten to bring my English textbook. When we reached the theatre, the play had begun already. I had to borrow some money from a friend of mine since I had lost my purse. Radha remembered that she had already deposited the money in the bank. The verb in italics in each of these sentences is in the past perfect tense. The form of this tense is had plus past participle. In each of these sentences, there are two actions or events both taking place in the past, but one taking place earlier than the other. The two are in some way related to each other. That is, the earlier action or event has some link with the later action. The earlier action or event in such cases is expressed in the past perfect tense and the later action in simple past. For instance, in the first sentence, I had forgotten is the earlier action. On reaching the school I found is the later action. This tense is used when we wish to emphasize the sequence of the two actions in the past and when that earlier action has some relation to the later action or situation. For example, Radha remembered that she had already deposited the money in the bank. Notice that the action of remembering, past, happens after depositing the amount before the set time in the past. The use of past perfect shows the distance between the present moment of reporting and the time when the action took place. It is often possible to bring out the earlierness of either action without the use of the past perfect tense, but with the help of conjunctions like before or after. Look at the sentences now. The train had left before I reached the station. I reached the station after the train left. I had completed my work before you came to meet me. You came to meet me after I completed my work. But these sentences are mere factual statements. They only express the time sequence of the two actions described, and they do not necessarily carry any other significance. Uses of past perfect tense. A. It describes an action completed before a certain moment in the past. Look at the given sentences. He had invited us for dinner last week. I had last met him 5 years back. I had seen him before 2 days near the museum. We had gone to visit him in September. Rita had talked to him on the phone last week. B. If two actions happened in the past, it may be necessary to show which action happened earlier than the other. The past perfect and the simple past combination is mainly used in such situations. The simple past is used in one clause to show the action that happened later and the past perfect in the other to show the action that happened earlier. Look at the given sentences. When the ambulance reached the accident spot, the injured had been taken to the nearby clinic. Father had retired to bed when Hari came to see him. The train had left when I reached the station. By the time he got the telegram, his father had died. By the time the police arrived on the spot, the rioters had fled. The past perfect here expresses an action in the past which was completed before another action also in the past. The tense expresses the past of the past or the before past. C. In general, the past perfect tense is used when from a point of time in the past we look backward at an event that happened earlier in the past. That point of time may be expressed 1. Merely as a time phrase. For example, at 8 a.m. by evening by the year 2009 at 18 years of age, etc. Or 2. By a clause that refers to an action that took place at a point of time in the past. For example, when he wrote to me by the time we called in the firemen, etc. At 9 p.m. the plane had left. By 3 in the afternoon, 6,000 voters had cast their votes. At 18 years of age, he had already travelled a lot. When he wrote to me about his success in the IAS examination, I had already known the results from the newspaper. D. The past perfect tense is used to express actions or events in the past which denote causes or reasons for later actions also in the past. For example, I did not know the man because I had not seen him before. The doctor found the patient restless because he had not had any sleep the night before. I did not support him because he had behaved with me very badly. He did not go to the party because he had got very tired. Formation of past perfect tense, positive form. In this tense, the subject singular or plural is followed by had to be further followed by the past participle form of the verb. For example, she had played carom. They had helped a friend. Interrogative form. In interrogative sentences, had is placed before the subject. For example, had she played carom? Had they helped a friend? Negative form. In negative sentences, not is used after had. She had played carom. They had helped a friend. Negative interrogative. We make negative interrogative of this tense by shifting had in the negative sentence to the beginning of the sentence. Had she not played carom? Had they not helped a friend? Conclusion. Thus, in this episode, we have talked about the uses of the simple past, past indefinite, past progressive, and past perfect tense. After this episode, the students should understand that simple past tense is used to indicate an action completed in the past, to talk about habitual and regular actions in the past, to express a narrative sequence, to refer to historical events, and to talk about something desirable or unreal state of thing in subordinate clauses. The past continuous tense is used to express an action that was in progress at a point of time in the past, having begun before that time and probably continuing after it. It also expresses an action continuing over a period of time in the past, to talk about an action continuing at some point in the past when another action took place, and for two or more actions going on at the same time in the past. And past perfect is used to describe an action completed before a certain moment in the past, to talk about two actions and to show which happened earlier than the other, and to express actions or events in the past which denote causes or reasons for later actions also in the past. These uses must be learnt by the students properly so that they are able to use tenses without any hindrance. In the next episode, we will talk about some more uses of past perfect tense. Apart from it, we will also discuss about the past perfect continuous tense and the future tense with their different forms and uses. That's all that we have for you for today. We hope you found the session useful. Thank you and goodbye.